Alright, hello. This is Insomniac Alopex, and I'm gonna do a probably extremely short playthrough of Neo Scavenger, which is a very interesting scavenging game taking place in post-apocalyptic Michigan. And it's really cool. I played it for a good number of hours, so I know a bit about the game, I know a bit about how to craft things and stuff, but I still haven't actually gone to Detroit yet, so most of that content is still new to me. And hopefully I'll be able to get to it in this, although I highly doubt it, because I kind of suck. Anyway, let's start a new game. So, what I'm gonna do for skills is I usually like to go with ranged, botany, trapping, medic, tracking, and hiding. And then I usually take fragile as my flaw, because medic sort of offsets that, although not enough to keep me alive in some cases. Alright, so I'm going to read this. You wake up disoriented, slumped over the base of an empty cryosleep pod, still damp from cryo fluid. The thick dust from the floor clings to your skin, leaving a clean spot on the ground where a large 05 is painted. Across the room, there is an open door to the hallway and a broken window leading outside. Just as you gather your wits, an unearthly scream erupts from down the hall beyond the doorway. Something is coming. Fast. So now we get to choose which one of our skills will help. We can dump another stasis tank and let whatever's coming eat them. We can use botany to, I don't know, do something. Use knowledge of plants. Or we could hide. Like a, I don't know, hidey person. So, we're going to use botany, because, I don't know, it's more fun. A plant catches your eye as you scan the room for supplies. Ricinus communis, the castor oil plant, is growing in from the window. You remember that this plant can be highly toxic, and most animals will avoid it if possible. What are the chances? Breaking off some branches, you quickly stomp the leaves and seeds, rubbing the fragments on your feet and hands. You scatter the rest in the doorway, just in time. The predatory dog-like creature comes to a halt as it reaches the doorway, sniffing the plants and shaking its head in disgust. You throw your hands toward it, and it steps back further, obviously uninterested in your toxic scent. With one more huff, it pads down the hall, looking for more palatable prey. You're standing in a cryostasis room, though it looks like you might have been the only survivor. So let's do tracking, because you get some interesting information. The dust on the ground makes it easy for your trained eye to pick out one set of tracks in particular. They seem to belong to a humanoid dragging something, probably a mantle or cloak. It was here fairly recently, probably in the past 24 hours. It entered through the doorway, walked to your stasis tank, went to the control console, and then left. You'd bet good money that it wasn't the dog man you just faced. Right, and we can search the console for records. I'm not going to read all this, but essentially, tank number 5, that was us. We are Philip Kindred, and we were committed in 2019. So, now we are going to leave. You decide to go outside and see if you can figure out where you are. Avoiding the broken glass, you step out onto the sill and outside, rustling some plants that have grown wild in the area. It's cool outside, and damp. Probably morning. The distant report of a gun catches your attention. You cock your head, listening, but it's over as quickly as it started. Obviously, you're not alone out here, though that doesn't necessarily comfort you. You're in the parking lot of Geige's cryo facility, but everything looks disused and in disrepair. Plants have pushed their way through the pavement and over the facility. Worst of all, nothing looks familiar. You don't remember this place, or even who you are, except we do know who we are, because we're Philip Kindred, but whatever. Your frustration mounts, but you catch it and put it in check. Might as well take a look outside. Or around. Whatever. Adding words now. I'm crazy. So the first thing we're going to do is scavenge. And we're going to... So this is what you do. You just pick one of them from over there. And you click scavenge and confirm. And because we have the medic ability, we can get some additional things from the cryo facility. In this case, it's a first aid kit with a good number of rags. And actually, for some reason, they've given me 2 bottles of amoxicillin, which is pointless. So I'm just going to empty this one out and throw that one away. We also have 9 clean rags, so I'm going to use one and put it over my face as a crude air filter. That's useful for certain events later. Plus it looks cool. I like it, so we're gonna do that. And the next thing we're gonna do, oh, we also took the shards because glass shards are useful as sharp bladed objects, and I can use them to make shivs or in crafting, so those are really important to have at the beginning of the game. So we're gonna use the window to go back in, and this time we're gonna explore down the hall. Outside the cryo chamber, there's a debris-filled corridor that looks disused. You climb over piles of refuse and rubble, and come across a blocked doorway. A plaque on the wall reads, Exam Room 17. Forcing the barricade aside as you peer into what looks like a clinic exam room. While there appears to be little worth looting, this room looks like it'd make a great hole-up site. Exam Room 17 has been entered the Hex's campsites. Yay, okay, so these are stuff that we could use if we had any skills relevant to fixing them, but we don't, so we're not going to worry about it. We're just going to leave again. There's, oh, well, not to Exam Room 17. There's nothing to do in there, but now we're going to change the available campsite to Exam Room 17, which is nice. And then I'm going to hide, and I'm going to end turn. And the reason why I'm going to end turn is because I would prefer to wait until daytime. And apparently Exam Room 17 is not as amazing as I thought it was, so that kind of sucks. But now we have Exam Room 17, which is useful. So we're going to go into this suburb. As you approach the town, there is no sign of activity. Buildings stand in ruin. Vehicles are overturned and blackened with fire. Explosion marks radiate outward from walls and pavement. In the distance, strange-looking creatures circle in the sky like monstrous, leathery vultures. The world has drastically changed from what you knew, even though you don't remember anything, so, I mean, I don't know how that's possible. But some sort of cataclysm has befallen the Earth, returning mankind to the Dark Ages, and along with it, your hopes of finding a warm meal and some answers. You decide to look around and scavenge what you can from the ruins. Okay, so this area is essentially entirely useless, but we'll scavenge anyway on the off chance that we'll find something. I got stuck in an opening. Well, at least I didn't, like, get savaged by the surroundings, environs, and I just stumbled into a patch of black mold and alerted nearby creatures. So, hopefully the clean rags stop me from getting diseased, but that's a hope. That's a disposable plastic shopping bag. It will be your first and sometimes only backpack in the game, which is why it's super useful. We are also hypothermic, or freezing, sorry. So we have less move. Oh, but luckily I just found a couple of really, really useful areas. And a stranger, who I will do my best to retreat from. I am attempting to retreat. This is looking bad for me. Oh god, I hit desperate. No. Why can't I get away? This is ridiculous. Okay, fine. 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 I will offer to talk. He doesn't seem to care. He is now in front of me. We will dodge! He is recovering because he did something stupid. We're gonna punch him in the face. Okay, we punched him in the face. He doesn't seem to care that much. So we're going to dodge again. We're dead. Well, we're not dead yet, but we will be pretty soon, honestly. Ooh, I can pull him down. I will do that. I am stunned. And he was recovering, and now I need to get up. And I'm in shock, which means I'm going to die. And yeah, I'm dead. So. Oh, wait, what? Oh my god, I'm alive? What the hell? What happened? He didn't even take my shopping bag, although he stole my everything else. Damn it. Well, you know what? I didn't die, which is kind of amazing, to be honest. Although I will soon, because of hypothermia. But, ooh, this is an awesome event. Sorry I didn't read that. I'm used to skipping it. There was definitely a lot going on in here at one point. The vandalism alone is a testament of that. but you see little to suggest that this vehicle was recently occupied. Looking at the sleeping bag, you'd wager from its orientation that someone crawled out of it, or maybe they were dragged. On a hunch, you search in the direction of the mouth of the sleeping bag indicates. Debris and weeds have covered most signs of a trail. However, a short ways off, you notice it, the remains of a body. Most of it has been picked clean over the years of decay, ruining any clothes it might have worn. However, it looks like a boot fell off along the way. Okay, cool. We're gonna take that sleeping bag right now. It's filthy, and you shudder to think of all the things that might have lived in here over the years. But it is warmth, and not freezing to death beats hygiene any day. Note, sleeping bags must be on the ground or in your camp when ending a turn to have any effect. And now we will leave. You leave the husk of a car behind. We'll grab the sleeping bag, and we will put on the boot. And now we have a boot and a handful of poison berries, which we will destroy because they're useless. Ah, no. Yeah, stupid touchy mouse. Touchy mouse. Enter. Fucking goddammit, you again? Seriously? Ugh. Sorry. Swearing is just... freaking Christ. Okay, sneaky retreat. Yes. Okay. Hide in the hills. Okay. I'm still trying not to die. This is becoming a challenge. So shacks in the forest are really good. They have a lot of loot, sneak, and safety. Although it says beware of booby traps, but usually it's fine. So you can usually find some pretty decent items here, which we have. We found a 3-Dog Moon t-shirt, which is actually one of the most valuable t-shirts in the game, apparently. So that's pretty cool. And got some jeans. So now we're not, like, naked under a hospital gown anymore. And we found a rifle scope with a strap, which we will put on our neck. I'm not really sure what that does. I've tried using the spy function with it, but it doesn't seem to make any real huge difference. So, I don't know. I'm just checking each of these sites. So that one's definitely better. I am also probably very hungry, but for right now, we will rest and heal, because we are probably in a whole hell of a lot of pain that I've ignored because I don't really have anything to, well, fix it. Ooh, actually, well, I'll end my turn rather than resting and healing, but what I can do now is I can use these jeans that I'm not going to use, and I can rip them up to get some dirty rags and some string. What I can do with the string is I can tie it together into some medium string. And with the medium string and the dirty rags, and if I had a sharp edge, I could do that, but I can't, so never mind. Shit. Well, that destroys my plan. But I will still take the medium string and the dirty rags, and I suppose the handful of string, because I really can't do anything else. And we're going to hide, and then we are probably just gonna rest and heal and try not to die of hypothermia. And this is kind of where, like, the waiting comes in, where it's just like, oh, you're trying not to die of hypothermia, so you kind of just gotta tough it out there, bud. But hopefully we won't be savaged by anything in our sleep. That would be lovely. Yeah. Okay. So now we have nothing to do but rest and heal. And I'm thirsty, which really sucks because there's not a whole hell of a lot I can do about it. I'm just gonna keep ending turn, honestly. Although, I wonder why. Oh, because I'm blind. I forgot. Okay, so I'm still hiding, which means I have double movement. I'm also shivering again because being fully clothed in regular Michigan weather, I suppose, is still not enough to keep me from, well, dying. So I'm just gonna very briefly and quickly scavenge these buildings. Ooh, and I found some stuff. Oh, sweet. I didn't even have to tear apart those jeans. Right. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna check these plastic bags. Right. So one of those is much better than mine in condition. It has 89%, I think. Yeah, 89.5. So we're gonna get that one, and we're also gonna take this just extra disposable plastic bag. And we are going to take all of this string, because why not? And all of these rags, because why not? And we are also going to grab some of these stones. And a broken bottle. And oh, even some shards are actually here, which is nice. Now I could drink, although that is not necessarily the best of plans. And we're going to use this broken bottle and these rags and this string, and we're going to make a sling. And that sling will be the best weapon for us in essentially the entire game, which is kind of sad, but it's true. It will be probably the best weapon that we can get our hands on in the game. I can make a bow, but making arrows is really expensive, and honestly finding like stones and pebbles is a lot easier. A whole lot easier. So that's what we're gonna do. And now that I don't need any medium string anymore, and I still have some move points left, I'm just going to reverse this until I can have a full stack of 20 regular string. And then I'm going to very carefully shift the alignment of my pebbles so I can grab some more stones. So there we go. We've got our first pretty good amount of items. Actually, stick some in my pants. That'll be nice. Right, so now we have some good items, which is, well, nice. We can't really do much except sort of just wander around right now. But what you can do is when you have the botany skill, you can actually scavenge these rural areas and find lots of water and lots of berries. And berries and mushrooms too, I think. Those sate your hunger, but they are also a safe way of raising your thirst, ever so slightly. So as you can see, I'm no longer thirsty. I am back and slaked from eating all of those berries and mushrooms. Having botany also helps with identifying berries, so you can tell which ones are poisonous or not. They are based on color for the most part, but in some cases, that is not enough to tell you whether or not something is poisonous. Like with red berries, you can never tell whether or not they are poisonous unless you eat them, or if you have the botany skill. So, unfortunately, I have alerted nearby creatures because I suck, but that's okay. I am thirsty again. Yeah, that's kind of going to be a trend. Ooh, I actually have string, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something very interesting that you can do if you have the trapping skill. And I'm going to use the forest to get a large piece of wood, use my string, and use my trapping skill, and I can get a squirrel snare for myself, which is really, really, really useful. And I actually might carry that around with me for a bit, simply because of the fact that I have the space for it. I haven't found like anything to not carry around with me, so might as well. So now we can scavenge the stretch of forest, and we can use that squirrel snare and our botany skill to improve our chances for loot. And unfortunately, all I could find were squirrel corpses this time. But squirrel corpses are still useful in their own right, because what I can do is I can use my broken bottle and my trapping skill to skin them. And unfortunately, now I just have regular shards. But we're going to use the shards that I've found, and preferably a crappy one, because I don't really want to use up a good shard. And now we have 2 squirrel skins, which are also extremely useful items. And unfortunately, I can't carry them with me if I'm carrying a squirrel snare, so never mind. We'll drop that. And we also have these chunks of raw meat, which I can also cook. Being in a forest, which is really, really helpful. The trapping skill is by far one of the best just abilities overall in the game, so always take it every single time. It's just so useful. So now let's cook these chunks of small meat. And now we can also eat those if we are hungry, which I will, because we are. And apparently they also slake your thirst, which is somehow possible. Don't ask me how. I usually thought that, I guess it's super juicy meat. Super juicy meat, which is nice. So I can drink that water. It's not advisable, but you certainly can do it if you would like to die. I wouldn't, so I'm just gonna leave it alone. And I think that should be it for right now. I think this has been going on for long enough, so I'll see you guys next time, if there is a next time, depending on whether or not I feel like doing this again, because I'm still mildly unsure. But anyway, see you guys later.